What's up you guys? Today I am here with a video inspired kind of by Nikki Blacketer and Whitney Simmons, and like a lot of other people too, but they're the two that I've seen this week, do a things I've learned video. I am 22 years old, so I'm going to be doing a 22 things that I have learned in 22 years. I just want to apologize for my voice because I've like developed a sore throat in the last couple of days. I don't feel ill in any other way, it's just like my throat is really sore and I keep having to clear it. So yeah, apologies. If you're new here, then don't forget to subscribe. And if you like this video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Okay, let's just go ahead and get into it. Number one, being honest will make you more successful. I mean this in business, but also in relationships. When I was younger, I used to be quite like, not dishonest, but I wouldn't really share like my whole self with people, like my close friends and stuff. I just wasn't very open. And since becoming a more open person, like my relationships with my friends have just become so much stronger and so much more real. And that has also applied in my business, where I'm very, very open with my clients and the girls I work with online as well, and also on like my social media platforms. And since becoming more open and more honest, my success has followed that. People just tend to have more respect for you if they can see that you're being your true self, can tell that you're not like hiding anything from them. Number two, sometimes you just need to do nothing. This is a lesson that I have had to learn the hard way, because I am pretty like all over the place. Like my brain is always wired. I'm always thinking of new ideas and new things to do. I find it really difficult to relax. You will rarely find me in my flat like not doing anything or like watching TV on my own. I just don't do that. I do it with other people, but I never really do that on my own until recently. In those moments when you're feeling really demotivated and your direction in life is just all off, your soul's trying to tell you something, like you need to take a break and sit and just do nothing for a while. And every time I've done that or forced myself to do it, it always kind of resets me and makes me more motivated the next day and more ready to get things done. Number three, your gut already knows the answer. Again, this can apply in like all aspects of life, I think. Basically what I'm trying to say is if something doesn't feel right to you or doesn't sit right with you, then it probably isn't. Even if you can't be sure about this thing that you're worried about, then the fact that it is making you feel this way, that means something. That tells you enough that something has got to change. Number four, being able to make a decision is more important than making the perfect decision. I think some people might disagree with this one, but I stand by it strongly. I just have no time for people who cannot make a decision in life, who can't just put their foot down and say, this is what I want, and this is how I'm gonna get it. I think it's okay to be cautious with some decisions and take a little bit of time, but when the time comes, the decision needs to be made. People who kind of leave that decision up to somebody else, or just kind of wait and see what happens to them and let life happen to them, then I don't like that. I think you should make your own happen and make the tough decisions, because those are literally what shape us and what make us stronger and more wise beings. I think in a decision you already know what you want to do, but you're usually just afraid of the consequences or like of other people usually. When making a decision, I tend to just take all those things aside and consider what I would do if there were no external factors. Then you know what your heart really wants, and then after that you take into account the external factors and decide how important they are to you and how much they should influence your decision. Number five, success changes other people. So a lot of people will say like, oh, success changes you, which I'm sure it does. I mean, I'm not the same person I was, but that's kind of a given. I mean, as you grow in life, you will change, you will evolve, and it might be for the better or for the worse. One thing that I can be sure of is that your success will change the people surrounding you. I think we all on a level like want each other to do well and want each other to have success in life and so on, but when one of your like closest friends or even family sometimes gets great success right in front of you, it's very hard not to be different around that person, I think. And I remember a couple of years ago I watched one of Christian Guzman's videos, and I don't know what happened, but like he was like ranting because some like of his friends had obviously kind of like ditched him or something. I don't know. It was basically saying that as he got more successful, his friends just started like being mean to him or like stop talking to him or whatever. And they were just being like, what are you talking about? It's true, like you will find success and others will kind of leave you behind, or you will leave them behind. So if you're gonna go after your dreams, which I think everybody should, obviously, be prepared that other aspects in your life will change as well, and that's okay. Number six, the attitude of I didn't start early enough is the quickest way to destroy your goals. Like, think about it. If somebody came up to you and was like, I really want to do this thing, but I feel like I should have started like 5 years ago because everyone else started when they were kids or when they were younger than me. Do you think I should just scrap it and not do it even though it's my passion? You'd be like, hell no. You would not tell that person not to do that. So take your own goddamn advice, go and do what makes you happy. Number 7, don't delete old pictures. I do not care how ugly or fat you think you look. In 5 years, 10 years time, you will regret deleting those pictures. So just don't do it. Just put them somewhere that you don't have to look at them. Nobody else has to look at them, but don't delete them. Number 8, it is never too late for an apology. I've had very, very few moments in my life where I've really like screwed up, but you will screw up sometimes and you will hurt people and do things that you're like, why did I do that? It doesn't matter if it's been a day or a month or a year. That person will always appreciate your apology or you reaching out to them. And the thing is, what have you really got to lose by doing that? I mean, the worst possible case scenario is that they don't respond to you. Everyone has a heart. Like, everybody can relate to people making mistakes, and if you give a really, really sincere, honest apology, it's really, really hard to ignore. Number 9, vulnerability is what creates real relationships. This is kind of linked to my honesty point, but it's a little bit different. So I was saying that when I was younger, I never used to really open up to my friends and also never used to show my vulnerable side. So I would tell my friends like all the good that was going on in my life and all the things I was doing well at, but I would never talk about anything negative in my life. And I don't know why really, like it was almost like a pride thing, but I was subconsciously proud. I don't really know where that came from, but I just would never ever share any like sadness in my life or anything like that. So more recently as an adult, I have become very different from that, and I will share things. My friendships and my relationships are just so much stronger than ever, and I have really, really strong connections with my friends, and I feel like I could literally talk to them about anything. So I'm basically just saying, don't be afraid to show your vulnerable side, because that is where people really, really warm to you and really can relate to you. Number 10, laughter is everything. I don't really need to say much more about this one, but just surround yourself with people that make you laugh every single day. And if somebody can do that to you, then they definitely deserve a place in your life. Number 11, don't postpone happiness for anything or anyone. If you're in a situation where you feel like you're waiting for something to be happy, like you're waiting for a relationship to get better, or you're waiting for something to happen in your life, then just stop a second. Like, what are you waiting for? Is this are you gonna be waiting for a day, or could you potentially be waiting for months to like a year or more? Unless you start living in the moment and start appreciating what you have now, then you're gonna be living a very difficult life, because I've been in that position. You're always looking forward. You're like, oh, well, when this comes, it'll be fine, or we'll just wait until then. You end up in limbo and you can never really just relax. Take a step back, decide if it's worth being in this situation or not, and just appreciate what you have right now, right here, right now. And don't always keep focusing on like down the line, because who knows what could happen in the next hour or the next day. Don't wait for anything. Number 12, music can change your mood in a second. This is so, so true. When I've been in the lowest of lows, I've been able to just literally put on the right song and it just changes my whole perception of the event. It doesn't necessarily fix anything or make you feel like instantly happy or anything like that, but hearing that somebody else can understand your situation or has been through your situation, it can really, really change your whole view of how things are going. Number 13, making lists will change your life. This is so true for me. Like, I make lists of everything, and it's something I've only started doing in the last couple of years. Before that, I was quite a disorganized person and I was quite unproductive. I didn't really have a direction in life as well, so that didn't help. But now I make lists for everything. Like, when I am in competition prep, I actually make a list of my day, like hour by hour, what I'm gonna do, so that I know what's happening and I don't really have to like think about it or plan too much in the day. I just know what I'm gonna be doing. But I make lists for everything else as well, like to-do lists, YouTube video idea lists, grocery lists, song lists, reminders, everything. And it literally has changed my life. Like, when I have a free minute, I'm able to go through the list and be like, oh, I can do that, and check it off. And it makes you feel so good when you've just done something and you've accomplished something. So yeah, lists. Number 14, if you are playing detective on your boyfriend or girlfriend, then it's already over. Trust is the biggest biggest thing in a relationship or a friendship, and if you feel like you are checking up on them and seeing what they're doing, then that trust has already been damaged. In order to rebuild that, something has got to change right now. Think about why you're doing that and talk to them about it, and make sure that that cycle does not continue, because it will only destroy you. Number 15, a clean home equals a clean mind. This sounds so cliche, but like I didn't know how else to word it. Before I sit down to do like a big task or a big project or something, I will always make sure that my workspace at least is clean and tidy, and it makes such a difference. And to be honest, this doesn't just apply with work, it applies with life in general. If your home and your living space is nice and clean and tidy, then it just makes everything seem brighter and better, and that is the honest truth. So if you don't believe me, then spend an hour just tidying and cleaning up your space, and then tell me that you don't feel 100 times better. Number 16, worry less about being liked and more about being true to yourself. If you do this, people will automatically like you more anyway. Even if somebody doesn't necessarily agree with you or have things in common with you, you can tell when somebody is being themselves, and it's just really, really easy to like somebody who is unapologetically themselves. As a teenager, I cared so much about being liked that I was not myself at all. I mean, I didn't even know who myself was. I was that person because I forced myself to be, but I never really gave myself a chance to have my own sort of identity. And as I grew up, I definitely found that in myself, and that's the best thing ever. It was ironic because it was as I cared less about being liked, I was just able to be myself, and I found that people definitely responded well to that, and I was able to build much better relationships with people that I met, and so on. Number 17, say yes to more things. A lot of my friends think I'm really like spontaneous and a little bit crazy sometimes, because if I get offered some sort of opportunity, I will rarely say no to it. But I'll tell you what my thought process is, and that is, will saying yes to this close any doors for me? And if the answer to that is no, then literally why would you say no? Like, why not? Yeah, it might not like bring anything for you, but it might, and if it's not going to do you any harm, then why not? Why not just say yes? Number 18, don't choose a career on the basis of money. This is what I did in high school. I decided that I would go to law school and I was going to be a lawyer. I had literally no interest in being a lawyer. I am really interested in the legal system and in criminal law, and I love like murder cases, like unsolved murder cases, and reading up about them and stuff like that. But physically being a lawyer was not. I literally just chose it because I knew I was smart enough to go to law school. I knew that it would be a well-paid job, and that was what my like 16-year-old mind decided was a good reason behind choosing a career. At that age, I just couldn't see how important it was. I don't know why, I just couldn't see how important it was to love your career. But yeah, if I can give you one piece of advice, it is to make sure that you choose your career based around your passions and the things that you love in life. Number 19, making time for fun and friends will make you better at your job. This kind of links back to another one as well, in that I find it hard to relax, I find it hard to switch off from work. I do try to factor in like time to see my friends and time to have fun. I've been really good at it recently. I've actually kind of like tipped the balance a little too much to the fun side, I think. Having some downtime with my friends and just having fun definitely means that when I come back to my work and my job, that I am much more focused and much happier in my work. So there's definitely a work-play balance that has to be found in life. And if you're like me and you love your work, it's almost harder to find this balance because you're content in what you're doing. But it is also important to have those other areas of your life where you play. Number 20, even the most successful people in the world started out without a clue what they were doing. This is something that really helped me a couple of years ago, is realizing that everybody is kind of winging it, guys. Like literally everybody. Everybody who starts a business doesn't know how to start a business when they do it. They just learn. Everybody who becomes a YouTuber has to make a first video one day, and they have to go through that kind of embarrassed, nervous feeling of posting it, like wondering what people are gonna think and so on. Just remember that everyone at the top was once at the bottom. And that is the one thing that seems to just hold people back so much. I think so many people don't achieve what they could because they're scared to start. But everybody had to start one time, and just remember that, okay? Number 21. This kind of goes hand in hand with the last one, and this is to not let fear hold you back. Don't let the fear of what others think hold you back, or the fear of failing or not being good enough, because just think to yourself, like, what is the worst case scenario here? Like, what is the worst thing that could possibly happen? And you'll probably decide that it's not actually that bad, that you'll be able to get over it. So if there's something that you want to do, and the only reason you're not doing it is because you're afraid or you're nervous, don't let it hold you back, because in 10 years time, you're gonna look back on that decision and be like, why did I care so much? Because the people that you care about what you think, you'll probably won't even speak to them anymore. The criticisms that you were worried about, you probably wouldn't get them anyway. Just try not to worry too much and don't take it too seriously. Number 22. This is my final point, and it actually links to the last point as well. Those last three were kind of nice, and this is probably my favorite one, that nobody else takes you that seriously, so don't take yourself too seriously. And this is so true. The bottom line is everybody is pretty self-absorbed in their own lives, and all the worries that you have about what people think about you and what people are going to say about you, they're very insignificant in the grand scheme of things, and nobody really cares that much in the nicest way possible. So just stay true to yourself, do what you want, be kind to people, and in the long run, no bad can come out of doing that. Okay guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Some of it got a little bit more serious than I had anticipated, but it's kind of nice. So I hope you took something from this. I'm only 22, so I'm sure there's loads of people out there who are much more wise than me and have maybe some disagreements in the things that I've said, but that's just what I've learned so far in my 22 years. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and if you have any other life lessons for me, then comment them down below. I want to see them, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!